350s up to 600,000.
No, that's hardly affordable, Larry.
Well, I mean, I think it's affordable for a working family. Two working adults. Um, it's white collar. It's definitely white collar.
In the country, every few years, though, we would rotate the crops, and my daddy would plant sunflowers. Have you ever seen a sunflower field? Sometimes you see one or two in somebody's garden, but when my daddy did it, he'd do a whole field just to turn the soil over. And sunflowers grow to be 8, 9 feet tall sometimes. And they would be as far as the eye could see, and that was my favorite time on the farm because I could play, and I was little, running through the stalks of the sunflowers, and I'd pretend I was, I would pretend I was Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz because that was my favorite book when I was growing up, The Wizard of Oz.
I was at that community meeting last week out here, Liberty Township, and this guy's calling me a predator. He tells me me and people like me are destroying the natural landscape. We're destroying the landscape around here.
Well, those I all named, and my daddy did not like me to take them into the house, but sometimes I'd sneak one or two in because, being out here, there weren't a lot of other kids, and those were my friends that I played with, my cats, and I just love cats. He got rid of some, he wanted to drown them. There was some water on the property, and I love my daddy, but I don't think I ever forgave him for that.
I got a lot of connection out here. I mean, my grandfather worked out here, and he worked hard. He bought from farmers and sold them to grocers, and it was hard work. He was basically an old man by the time he was 45, and it's a hard life for these people. So. I think everyone needs to keep in mind that America's changing, and for the better.
Up until that point, I was unreconciled with the experience up there versus the suburbs that I was experiencing here, and I didn't understand the disconnect. I didn't know what the disconnect was. But I've come to learn what that was, and now that I've reconciled that, I'm now can let the land go because it's taught me what it's supposed to. We're so much closer physically here, but yet we feel more miles apart relationally. Neighbors, and these are neighborhoods, but it was more of a neighborhood up there when your neighbors were 2 miles away from each other.
Around the 60s, 70s, some corporate farms started to come in, and there was a place just down a bit called Big Bear Farms, and they would grow produce for the Big Bear grocery stores. And then as development started to happen, ironically enough, Big Bear Farms became a Big Bear grocery store. And it's not there anymore, so you can't see it, but Big Bear, I think, got bought out by Eagle Foods, which is where probably your mom does her grocery shopping, and I do my grocery shopping. And farms with lots of houses, and I think that there's even a Big Bear Lane around there.
So the Petersons, I looked it up in the county registry. The Peterson family had owned that property since 1880. do you feel like you're bringing an end to a family legacy?
I don't feel like I'm bringing an end to anything. Like I mentioned, let's talk about a few things here. First, Peterson called me to sell his land. And second, you know, he lost his livelihood a long time ago. He's an individual, this is a family farm, you know, and you just can't compete with industrial agriculture. I mean, that's sad, but that's just the way of life. And yeah, no, I don't feel any responsibility as far as that's concerned, you know. I mean, I'm helping them out. They have a way out, you know.